Transition was all right. We only had 8 fast breaks, but yeah, the paint was a joke. I mean, every huddle, I think you heard most of our huddles. It's not like a broken record tonight. Every huddle was paint, paint, paint. And game 3, they had 70. We found a way to win. And tonight they had 72. They had 42 at halftime. That's an incredible number. And when you break it down, they shot 64% in our paint, and they shot, I think, 33 in non-paint shots. And it starts in transition, blow-bys, just one-on-one containment, no help. And I just didn't think we had the requisite physicality or urgency. This did not seem like a closeout game. And give them credit. Their backs were against the wall, and they came out and handled their business. And so now everybody can stop talking about the 11-0, and we have a chance to go home in front of the best fans in the world and try to close the series out.
Michael, you guys closed within, I think, 7 in the third quarter. It felt like you guys had opportunities to make it even closer, but they were getting offensive rebounds and kicking out for 3 a couple times. How important was the disparity in second chance points in the glass overall?
Well, yeah, this is the first game that we've been out rebounded. So for them to out rebound us 46-40, but more importantly, 8 offensive rebounds for 14 points. And when you're never hold a lead for the entire game and you're fighting to get back in the game and cut into it, when you finally force a miss, you can't give Anthony Davis or Torian Prince or whoever the hell is crashing the glass and outworking us. It's just it doesn't work like that. So, yes, I thought that was definitely part of the problem as well, our inability to rebound like the way we have done in the first 3 games.
Coach, you've reiterated all series. We need to get out to good starts. We need to get out to good starts, and it's something that's kind of eluded you guys for these 4 games. How much of an issue is it, and how can you guys kind of fix that?
Well, I think the bigger issue for tonight is that we just weren't ready to play, and not just because of the scoreboard, but the ease in which they scored. The very first basket they scored was a walk-in layup. That set the tone for the whole night. And it was LeBron James getting downhill to his left hand to finish. And, that was kind of unfortunately, an ominous sign for what was to come because they scored 70 more points after that. So that's what I'm more concerned about is that as the series is going on, we're getting away from understanding that this is transition, this is paint. It's not play calls, and tonight, obviously, we didn't have that. But your point is well taken because that's 4 games in a row where we have lost the first quarter, and we've been down at halftime. And now you hope that to close the team out, you can't play a half of basketball. If we're going to try to win this in 5 games in front of our crowd, it's going to take us coming out ready to play and sustaining that for 48 minutes. Because that team's not going anywhere.
You talked about transition defense, defense in the paint, not being ready to play. A reminder of what a grind the playoffs are and how much focus it requires to either close out a series or just win a single game.
Yeah, you want to win every game, right? It would have been great to close out 4-0, sweep the Lakers again. That rarely happens. And especially when you have 2 All-Stars, 2 All-NBA players over there. So obviously the first message is we got game 3. We have a chance to go home and close it out in our building. So we got one on the road, which is really important to close out any series. And yes, there's no panic. We have a chance to go out and close it. But the challenge within that, as you know, is we can't continue to play like this. They're not rolling over. They're not going to give us the first round victory. We're going to have to earn it. We're going to have to take it. And tonight we didn't come close to earning it or taking it. And that's why we got beat. That's a talented team over there. And they play with more desperation. They play with more urgency and more physicality.
Coach, you were talking a little bit about not being ready to play or even just the ominous signs. Did anything play into the shoes not being here on time? There was the bus with the shoes was delayed and people are in their slides. And
if you want to dig into stuff and say, well, we lost because For some strange reason, all of our players didn't have their shoes when they got here for the normal warm-ups. We had guys out there shooting around with flip-flops. Is that ideal? No. But I'm not an excuse guy, and I'm not going to point to the reason we got our butts kicked in the paint because shoes weren't here. I think that's a reach, personally. Is it ideal? No. And hopefully we can figure out and make sure that never happens again. But that's no excuses, no explanations. We didn't get the job done. And the good thing about this is we have a chance to go home and try to get back to playing our brand of basketball and an opportunity to close it out in front of our fans.
That's two right there on the TV.
Coach, you said you sound like a broken record, transition points, points in the paint, all those things. How frustrating is it to having to keep saying that over and over again in these timeouts, maybe back-to-back games or in every game so far?
I mean, that's what coaching is. I mean, it's my job, and when you're playing well, or if you're not playing well, I think making sure your players understand the why. Why are we losing this game? Why are we not playing our brand of basketball? And obviously you would hope at some point guys are hearing the message and they're able to go out there and do something about it. And tonight, that just wasn't the case. And, our guys are a pretty honest group. I think they know tonight was not our best game. And it's really easy to stay together after a win. Everybody's, feeling good. The music is playing. Everybody's high-fiving. It's a challenge to stay together after a disappointing loss. But we're a connected group, and we'll go home, we'll watch the film, and we'll be ready come whenever the Game 5 is.
That's one on the left there.
Coach, were you surprised that you guys did not come as ready to play as you hoped you would? I mean, because clearly it's a disappointing performance, but were you surprised that they had more energy than you did?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, like you go back to last season, I think going into tonight's game, I think we were 11-1 in our last 12 playoff games. And last season, in closeout games, aside from the Minnesota series, we went 3-1. And our guys attacked those opportunities. And I just didn't feel, and again, watching the film will help, I just didn't feel we had that same tenacity, that same desperation or urgency, whatever you want to call it. I just didn't think we had it, for long enough stretches. We cut it to 7, like Vinny mentioned earlier, but it was like too few and far between, and that can't be the case. Like, we have to leave it all out there. If you play 42 minutes, you play 10 minutes. Go out there and leave it all out there, and when you do that, good things usually happen. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.